All right, let's move along here. The point in the show that we always get to at the beginning, and that would be the weekly rant for episode 122. I'm going to warn everyone, we don't get political here at Go Tell It to the Wall podcast. In fact, when we originally launched Go Tell It to the Wall, we were going to talk no politics whatsoever. Now we do talk minimally about politics because a couple months after we launched Go Tell It to the Wall, a certain orange individual was elected to the highest office in our country, and therefore we use common sense to not talk about policy and procedure and that kind of stuff, but really just common sense when it comes to the rights of everyone in this country, the rights of everyone around the world, and whatever pertains to those things. So I put that caveat here because I'm going to talk a little bit of politics, but I'm not talking about, again, policy or procedure or exact things or telling you to vote for a certain thing. What I'm talking about is common sense stuff. So we're coming up, I live in Los Angeles here. We are coming up on a big election, big midterm election. I'm not talking about the primaries for the Democratic nominee. I have to double check. I believe I am allowed to vote for the Democratic nominee here in California, despite the fact that I am not a registered Democrat. I am registered independent, not the independent party. I affiliate with no political party whatsoever. I strongly believe everyone in this country should do that, but I'm not going to try to force everyone to do that. I understand the two-party system. I get it. It's just wrong and it's broken. Therefore, I have nothing to do with either one of those parties, outside of the fact, I have to vote for one of those parties a lot of times. But we're coming up on a big midterm election here for city council seats and some educational board seats and just smaller stuff here in the city of Los Angeles and really specific to each district here in Los Angeles. And I'm getting inundated. Getting phone calls, getting mailers, and those freaking, they're sending out these mailers are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, these flyers that don't even fit in the mailbox, and the mail carrier has to fold them up and get them in the mailbox. It's crazy. And I've noticed a trend. I've noticed this the past couple of years, but it's really getting to me lately. A lot of these local politicians, they focus, and I'm not even saying they just mention, they focus. Everything I receive in the mail, every commercial I hear, is all about local city council candidates fighting against Trump, and how they oppose Trump, and how they're against all of these things that the Orange Menace does. And every time I see that, I say, you know what, that's nice. But you're not talking about anything really pertaining to our city. You're not talking about anything pertaining to our district. You're not talking about anything pertaining to the schools that my daughter will one day attend. I want to hear what you're going to do to improve that. And especially the area that I live in, Los Angeles. I live in Northeast Los Angeles, a neighborhood that's become very popular, not just in California, but around the country. People have recognized this as a place to live. It'll cost you about $1 million to live in my neighborhood if you're purchasing a decent sized house. And I'm not even talking decent, because anyone that's listening outside of Southern California, I'm talking like 1,000 square feet. I see friends and relatives that live in the Midwest, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, how could you? That's a $5 million home in Los Angeles, but it's just the market, and I get it. So it's going to cost you about $1 million to have anywhere near decent sized home here in Highland Park. The crime rate is off the charts. Off the charts. Right now, this year, so far, we're averaging close to a murder every week and a half. And it's February. That's what's happening here in Highland Park, California. So all these local politicians that are campaigning, they're focusing on Trump and opposing the Orange Menace and all this other stuff and the things that they're going to do to stop him. That's nice. What the hell are you going to do for the streets? What are you going to do with the rampant homelessness, increasing homelessness problem here in Los Angeles? What are you going to do about the crime that is literally happening down the street from my house? That's what I care about. You oppose Trump? That's nice. I don't really give a shit. I don't. I can already see that you're a Democrat and you have nothing to you want nothing to do with the Orange Menace. I get it. That's fine. But it's not your job to go to work daily and fight Trump. It's your job to go to work daily and improve my city. Improve the city that millions of people live in. That's what your focus should be, and that's what your job should be. And I see none of these local politicians doing anything to convince me that they're going to do anything for my community. They're only focused on the Orange Menace. They're only focused on that. And I'm telling you, every mailer I get refers to the Orange Menace and Trump and what they're going to do. Nothing that's actually local. Nothing. What are you going to do to improve the educational system here? That's what I want to hear about. And trust me, if you've listened to this podcast, you know that I oppose the Orange Menace. I want nothing to do with the Orange Menace. I think it's disgusting. He makes me want to puke. Anytime I see the guy on television, I want to throw up. I literally want to throw up. But you know what? It's not the job of a city council member to go to work every day and fight Trump. It's not. That's the job of Congress, of U.S. Congress. And this is the thing. I've always said this, and it still rings true. Never, ever, 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 ever trust a politician. Because if somebody grows up and says, I want to go into that, and I want to be a politician, and I want to get into politics, they could be the nicest person on the face of the earth. There's something in their head that makes them want to go do this. And that, to me, automatically makes them untrustworthy. Not that you can't trust them at all, but don't fully trust any politician out there. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, man. I'm telling you, like, I'm not convinced by any people running for local office in Los Angeles that they're going to do a good job. They're doing nothing to convince me. And it's silly. They all use it as a stepping stone for a bigger run, whether it's Congress, a mayoral run, whatever it might be. Well, politicians out there, you do better, and we'll do better, and then we can all be in a better position. Because worry about your constituents. That's the bottom line.